Here's to the dreamers, the seekers, the wise. Crystal avenue will reach in the skies. Tarot and starlight will always roam. In the heart of the universe we found our home. Comes where the mystics play. We speak the language of the Milky Way. A touch of Venus, a kiss from the moon, guiding lost hearts with a sweet gentle tune.
Hello, hello. Welcome here. Welcome back. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on and whatever time you are watching this video. We are going to read for the Leo Collective today. Hi, Leo. I hope this message finds you well. All right, and before we get started, we are going to talk about this. This is my book. It is called Say You Love, and it is a testimony of triumph over the darkness of childhood sexual trauma and addiction, okay? And I wrote this whole entire thing using my phone and some paper. Like I did a text-to-talk with my phone, and I completed this entire process, the entire thing, from front to back, the cover, the publishing, all of it, all from my phone, okay? So for those of you out there that think that you need some sort of special software or a laptop or, that you don't have the right essential tools to create something like publishing an entire book, I guarantee you walk around with these little computers in your pocket all the time, all right? You can do a lot with those little tiny computers. You can do a side hustle, you can put YouTube videos, you could publish a whole entire book, you could do lots of things. So, and I share that story as a message of inspiration and hope for anyone out there that is lost, feeling like they're struggling, feeling like they are in like a shame loop or that they can't overcome whatever sort of traumas they've been through in their life. Like I've been through a lot, y'all. I have definitely lived I've lived several lifetimes in this one lifetime for sure. And, you can overcome anything, okay? There's just about anything out there that you can overcome it. And I also share this story as a message of hope for anybody out there that is suffering an addiction or has a loved one that is suffering with addiction. Like, hi, my name is Crystal, and I am a recovered addict. I am 3+ years into recovery, okay? And we really do recover, okay? So never give up hope. Always hold space in your heart for someone to actually change. Like, I am a walking testimony of change. So that will be in every one of my description boxes. Like below the video, there'll be a little description box, and in that description box you can find a link to the Amazon site where you could purchase a copy, or you can get a free copy on my website, which will also be in the description box. And if you would like a signed version, you could always email me, okay? And that will all be underneath the video in my description box. So let's get this party started for Leo. What do we got, Leo? Let's move these cards out of the way. My beautiful meow kitties. Meow, meow. Meow. I got Mojo sleeping on my pillow over there. She sleeps above my head. She also plays fetch. She's a good kitty. She's my cat's cat. Like I have a cat and his name is Pixie, and then my brother has a cat which is Mojo. But Mojo follows my cat around everywhere, so she's like my cat's cat. But she's got this one stripe across her back. That's all. It's like from shoulder to shoulder. Like most cats have stripes in the opposite direction, but she's got one white stripe. You can see her little tail and her little foot back there. Leo. See her little paw right here? That's her little paw. Hello, Mojo. That's Mojo Kitty. All right, Leo. What do we have for the Leo Collective? What sort of messages do we have for the Leo Collective? And this is for your sun, moon, rising, Venus, or North Node. Or if you were drawn to this message, there's probably a message in here for you. Remember, roles can be reversed. You don't want to be like Cinderella's ugly stepsisters trying to fit their fat feet into the glass slipper, all right? So if the message doesn't resonate with you, it's all right. Check your other placements, all right? So let's see what we got for Leo. I am doing pre-recorded videos because I will be with my mom and her wife. And her wife just had surgery, and my mom is disabled, so I've been staying the night at their house, helping them out. And I'm really thankful to be in a place in my life where I actually can be there for people, because there was a lot of times in my life where I was really selfish and completely a hot mess. So I wasn't there I wasn't emotionally available at times in my life. So now is a time in my life where I am actually able to be there and to be reliable and to actually help. So there might be some of you that might be dealing with somebody that's like that as well. So what do we got? Oh, so we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the World in reverse. So some of you might feel like you're just exhausted, like you feel like giving up, like you feel like you might feel a little bit defeated on some level, or you're dealing with somebody that feels defeated, that they feel like everything is all for nothing. They're kind of like at this point where it's like, I don't want to, you don't want to invest in situations anymore. It's like you've put your heart out a lot. You've given a lot of yourself, and it's like you feel like you've gotten nothing in return. But there's no good deed out there that doesn't come back to you. It might not be from the person that you did good to, okay? Which that's where we usually end up disappointed. It's like we feel like because we've done so much for somebody, that one somebody that we did those things for should return the favor, right? And a lot of times we end up really disappointed when we have those types of feelings, because we find out that that person doesn't have the same heart as we do, but I guarantee you it will return back to you. It might not be from the same exact person, but it will return back to you. But I do get this sense of like feeling emotionally drained and exhausted, and like you're spending a little bit more time with self-care. Like you might be, making your favorite foods, watching your favorite show, like just kind of in like, a real peaceful, like you're just in this state of peaceful, like you're not involving yourself in anybody's drama or anybody else's like disputes that they have. Maybe you have family members that are fighting, and like you're not involving yourself in any sort of anybody else's drama. You're like, not my circus, not my monkeys. Like you're really dedicated to taking care of yourself, to taking care of your own inner spirit, to fulfilling your own needs, like you're finding like forgiveness inside yourself. You're looking for answers and for closure. Like you might not ever get an apology or a thank you from any of the people that you've done good for, or you might not get an apology from anybody that's done you wrong, but you are somehow inside yourself, you are finding the strength to find that forgiveness, to find that closure inside yourself, which is really, we're the only ones that can actually do that anyways. We're the only ones that actually have the power to close out a situation or to assign a meaning to whatever lessons it is that we've learned, right? Or if we are still hung up on something, like if there was something that was done in the past and like we're, it's been like 3 years, but it's still really heavy in our energy, and we're like, well, I can't figure out why it happened. And because you keep continuously tell yourself that you can't figure out why it happened is why you haven't released it, right? So as soon as you are able to look at that situation and you have the power to give it some sort of meaning. So if you look at a situation that's been troubling you and you can see like what you've learned from it, or like how you've grown from that situation, like you're the only one that can tell you why you went through whatever it is that you went through. No one else can give you, like, they can give you an answer. They can be like, oh yeah, you went through X, Y, and Z because you needed to learn this or you needed to learn that. But if you don't agree with that and your soul doesn't agree with that, then I mean, there's no point in them even saying that to you. So you are finding the answers inside of yourself, and it's like you're finding the power to find those answers, but I do feel like that you've been carrying a lot of burden, but I feel like your burden is coming from like the people that you love, like you love these people, so their problems become your problems, and like it was almost programmed into you that way. It's because you have such a high level of compassion for people and empathy. It's like you actually truly feel whatever they're feeling. So if like the people that you love are feeling sad, then you end up feeling sad yourself, and you're like, well, there's nothing for me to be sad about, but this other person is sad. So it's like you pick up on their energy and then you end up carrying it, right? So I think you are learning how to separate yourself from other people's energy, to observe instead of absorb, right? You might have a lot of responsibilities on your plate. There might be a lot of people that look to you to accomplish goals, with the 10 of Wands being there. Like you put in a lot of work and you have a lot of things on your plate. Like you're responsible for a lot of different people in a lot of different areas. It's like they look to you to get things done, like especially if you're dealing with somebody that's disabled, or you have a family member that like really needs your help right now, or you've been taking care of a family member. You are probably one of their sole providers, which isn't a bad thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely puts a lot of extra responsibility onto you. You are in the process of trying to manifest some sort of financial opportunity, like you're looking at like side projects or side hustles, like maybe you have a hobby, like maybe you are into pyrography, or like my friend makes necklaces, so maybe you're into making necklaces or doing jewelry. Like my mom makes window bling, like sun catcher window bling. Which one fell? Let's see what this is. And the Emperor. The Emperor is what fell. So the people that are around you definitely respect you. They have a lot of respect for what it is that you do. Like you have a lot of leadership abilities. I mean, you're a natural leader. Leos are natural leaders. So you fit that role really easily. Or there's somebody around you that is very ruling, very domineering, maybe a father figure. They have a lot of power over what it is that you are capable of doing. And like some way or another, there's somebody that is very authoritarian. There's a very authoritarian type of figure around you that is almost like the conductor of what you do throughout your day, which I'm not so sure that you are completely like satisfied with. It's like you want to be the conductor of your own life. You are the author of your own choose your own adventure. But you're going through a lot of personal transformation right now. You're starting to let go of the fear of change. Like maybe you were super fearful in the past of like taking a step in the wrong direction. It's like, okay, well, if I jump into this, well, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does? What if whatever it is that you really want to do really does work out, instead of like catastrophizing an event, or something that you really want to do, excuse me. What happens if it really does work out? I mean, us as humans, we have this tendency to, out of all of the possible possibilities, we pluck the worst possible case scenario out of the pool of potential, and then we stick that in our pocket and we like hold that close to our heart. And it's like we justify it by saying that we are being prepared for the worst case scenario. Well, I mean, it's one thing to be prepared for the worst case scenario, but it's a whole other thing to be paralyzed by worst case scenarios. Okay, it's okay to acknowledge it, like, yeah, that's one of the possible possibilities, but out of all of those possible possibilities, there are this possibility and this possibility and this possibility, and none of those others. There's only one worst case possibility, right? But we have a tendency to take that one out of the pool of infinite possibility and hold on to it like closest to our heart, right? So I think you're learning how to not take the worst possible case scenario and focus all of your intention into it, and realize that, I mean, what if it does work out? Instead of all of the, what if it doesn't work out? What if this person what if they hate it? What if I get no one to support me? What if, what if? Well, but what if it does work out? What if it is the best thing that ever happened to you? What if it's the best decision that you ever made? I mean, when you are on your deathbed, are you going to be wishing that you would have took that leap? If you could think about being on your deathbed right now, never having tried this, then how does that make you feel? However it is that makes you feel, like if you're okay with never trying it, then go ahead and not try it. It's okay. But if you are like, wow, I would be really totally devastated if I never even tried, then go and try. Like, if you don't try, the answer is always no. right? If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't try, the answer is always no. So what if you try and you do succeed, you know? But you are definitely learning to find acceptance, finding your own internal peace. Your from any sort of personal setbacks is like, yeah, it might not have worked in the past, so that might have like paralyzed you from trying in the now, but now is not the past. Now is the now. It might be completely different now. If you tried something and failed before, it might have just been a not right now instead of a no. Okay, so it's always better to dust yourself off and learn from whatever it was that didn't work in the past and move forward. Yeah, because you have a lot. There's celebration, there is friendship, collaboration, creativity, community, happiness. Ain't no unity without community, right? Ain't gotta be a Rockefeller to help a fella. So you do have a lot of people that would support you in this adventure that you're on. And the people that wouldn't support you on your adventure has nothing to do with your personal value or what sort of value you're adding to the world. That's more of a projection of like their lack of being able to accomplish what it is that you're setting out to accomplish, right? Most of the people that are in your corner, and it's usually like really close friends or family, that once you start becoming successful at something that you really enjoy doing, like they always have something negative to say about it, or some sort of backhanded criticism. And it has nothing really to do with you. It's like they're just projecting onto you their own self limits. Like they limited themselves. They never tried it. They never went out of their comfort zone. And you succeeding them reminds them of that. You succeeding on whatever it is that you're trying to do, and being happy with with this own accomplishment that you have lined up for yourself, or that you are going to start seeing like your fruits of your labor for. That's a reflection of them, and that's like really like all you can do is keep pushing forward. Like don't let anybody's outside opinion on what it is that like would truly make you happy like stop you from your happiness. Because I mean, success sometimes looks like, oh, you're not going to have as much time for specific people as you once did, and some people don't want that. They if you succeed and you are successful, then they feel like you will be leaving them behind, or it makes them feel like you aren't going to have any more time for them, or that in some way or another it won't be you won't be there for them. So sometimes people that are close to you will try to unknowingly sabotage your success because they're like possessive of your energy, because they're possessive of your time, because they want you to stay where you're at. They want you to keep doing what you're doing, right? I do feel like you've had some emotional losses, some feelings, and like you might have had like a writer's block or an artistic block, or like you might stare at a canvas like once when you used to paint or draw or create. You used to create freely and it used to bring you a lot of excitement. And I think that whatever was told to you, or whatever sort of criticism that these people that were supposed to be your support team gave you, like instead of being met with like a lot of excitement and happiness for your creative project, like you were met with criticism and like not like it wasn't important, like it wasn't that big of a deal, or that like why are you pursuing that, you're never going to make anything with that. So it like really put a damper on your spiritual fire, like your passion and your fire that you had for that creative project. So I think you're really learning to not take so much, like you're trying to not be validated by what other people feel, and I know that's really hard to do, especially when people are close to you. But I think once you pick up this creative project and you really go for what it is, like out of the potential, you're like, no, like what if it actually does happen, and you pull that timeline of potential out of the pool of possibilities, like you're going to see a very rapid growth, very rapid, very quick, like you will see very quickly that there are fruits, that labor will bear fruit, and it might be fast blooming fruit, then all of the emotional blockages will just kind of disappear. And change is scary, but it's also exciting at the same time. And I really do feel that you're working on that inner love, that inner self, that breaking away from feeling insecure. I think before you've had some insecurities, but you might have masked it. Like nobody really knew how insecure you really were, because you seem so socially outgoing, or you seem so like confident in whatever it is that you're doing. But on the inside, like you kind of have some self-doubt, you have some insecurities. Who doesn't? We're human, right? Anybody that says that they aren't insecure in one way or another is completely lying, or they're masking it and covering it up with something else, But I really feel like there's been some sort of disharmony and like misfortune around you, and I think it has something to do with your loved ones, with your family, with like your family. You're not like your immediate family, but like there's some sort of outside family that is in conflict, and that they try to drag you and your immediate family into it. But you are definitely, that's the Leo card there with the strength. You are holding strong to keep your inner peace. Like you're not letting it affect your inner harmony, and that might bother some people. They might be like, oh, well, why don't you care? You don't care. And it's not that you don't care. You're just not going to be consumed by it. You're not letting it consume you. You're staying focused on your own inner self, on your own, like your own inner peace, because it's like it's not elevating anybody's situation if you are involved, if you're trying to take sides, or they're trying to get you, they're like pulling you in one place or another, or trying to get you to take their side. And then, if you take this person's side, then this person's mad. And like, if you don't take this person's side, then this person's mad. And it's like, you're like, no, I'm not involved in this. Like, I love you all, I love you all equally, or I hate you all equally, one of the two, as long as it's equal, right? But you're not involving yourself in any sort of outside drama. You're trying to become more financially independent. Like we have financial independence, like working from home. You might find a way to work from home. That might be this new project that you are starting, But there's definitely an energy around you that's very smothering. Like there might be somebody that is all up in your business all the time, like a shadow. There's somebody that shadows you, that shadows over what you're doing, to make sure that what you're doing is correct, it's like they watch everything that you do. There's somebody that definitely hovers, is like a hovering energy over you, But I think you're spending a lot of time meditating, learning how to be adaptable, how to not take things personally, how to not make assumptions. Those are all easy things to say, but it takes a lot of practice to actually put them into your daily life, Some of you might feel a little bit disconnected. It's like you feel a little disconnected from whatever the fads are going on in the world, which there's really nothing wrong with that, right? Like you're not up to date on what the Kardashians are doing. I don't think you give one fuck, much less two fucks, about any sort of trends that are going on in the fashion world. Like you're disconnected from regular society, like the things that the regular society does, like you have no interest in. So you might be considered like a black sheep or like an outcast, but you weren't here to fit in, right? You're not here to fit in with all the social norms of what society thinks is proper, like you're here to create a new path, like to raise the vibration of the planet, especially if you consider yourself to be a healer or a starseed. Like most healers and starseeds do not fit in with the regular norms, and it's because you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to fit in with the regular way that society works, which has made you feel like an outcast. you know, but most outcasts aren't the black sheep of the family. They're the lions, right? And you are the lion, Leo. Your intuition is on point too. Like you just have like this, like you get downloads of sacred knowledge. Is like you probably do a lot of astral work. Like you probably like wake up with new information. I don't know if any of you have ever tried this before, but if you go to sleep with like a book underneath your pillow, you know, and like try to retain the information that's in the book through your subconscious mind, you know, and and tap into like the pool of source for the information. Like you might have a lot of uploads about the like Akashic records, or you might just like intuitively know things, like you know without knowing how you know, but you know. You could be clairaudient. You might be really sensitive to other people's energies, you know. But you're definitely into spirituality with the high priestess. Like you're definitely into spirituality, you know, you're definitely into like you're not scared of your shadow side, you know, like you know that in order for there to be light, there has to be dark. There's an equal and opposite to every single person in every single situation, right? And I think that you are very aware of those energies. And you're definitely tapping into your divine feminine. You might be a divine feminine. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Like I think you carry a lot of divine feminine energy. And yeah, you do have permanent contentment. Like I think all of this spiritual work that you're doing is going to bring you a lot of harmony, a lot of inner peace, you know? And by changing your inner world, you change your outer world. And by changing your outer world, and like we can really change the world one person at a time by working on ourselves, by doing our own inner work, by coming through the dark and bringing into the light. You know, she's got that dark side and the light side on both sides of her. So it's not, you're not like shunning one side of yourself to be present and the other side of yourself. It's like you're finding that balanced equilibrium between both your shadow self and your light self, you know? Like you're not into that toxic positivity, but you're not also not like a high level pessimist either. It's like I feel like you're more of a realist, you know? It's like if you think about it, the glass is always full, because even if it's not full all the way with liquid or volume, like there's still air in it, you know? So no matter which way you look at it, even if there's no liquid in that cup, that glass is still full of air. Even if you can't see it, that glass is always full, right? I think you have a very high sense of morale, like your moral compass, like you're very strict about your moral compass. Like you do not stray from anything that feels immoral or unjust or unfair, or like you are very much on sticking to what you feel is fair and is balanced. And I don't think you tolerate people or situations that continuously. It's one thing to like, you know, fuck up or whatever, but if people are continuously choosing to behave erratically, or to, you know, to lie or to steal or to whatever, it's like you separate yourself from those energies as much as possible, you know, without having judgment. Like you do it without judgment, but you do it more for the sake of your own moral compass, rather than like shaming the person for not being who you are. You know what I mean? Yeah. But there's definitely been some disappointment in your past. You've had some disappointment, and there's definitely been a time of withdrawal, but I think that time of withdrawal has like brought you to your greatest like awareness, to your greatest like understanding, to your greatest sense of self-worth and peace, was by this disappointment, by walking away what was from whatever was disappointing, you know? But overall, Leo, I think you are definitely doing the right thing, and you are standing firm with your own emotional integrity and your own moral compass. When you're really tapping into your spiritual abilities, to your healing abilities, and you're really giving forgiveness to yourself and compassion to yourself for not fitting in to the normal, like, social standards. All right. You don't need to fit into the social standards, Leo. Like, you're here to be can't talk, a trend, not a trendsetter, a trend breaker, like a chain breaker. Like, you're here to shake things up, not to blend in. Okay. So I think that has been your reading for tonight or today, whatever time you watch this video. I hope this brought some value to your ear holes, to your listening pleasure. And I'll always be good to yourself and others, okay? And always and always. And until next time, I love you, and vroom, beep, beep.